Recording in progress.
We're going to study about the process in the meditation and jhana. And that related to the process pertaining to the Appana Jhana, which is different from the limited jhana. And in other way, we can say the related to the attainment of mental practice. Without the mental practice, nobody can attain the jhana and megaphala. So in order to attain the jhana and mega, so for any attainment of mental practice, one have to practice any of the meditation, whether it is the samatha bhavana or vipassana bhavana. Then here, let's review. We have studied this in lesson 15. This is about the way of jhana. The samatha meditation, which is called the concentration meditation or serenity meditation or calm meditation. The practice of concentration, that is called the samatha bhavana. And also I have introduced the 14 meditation subject as mentioned in the 9th chapter of Abhidhamma Sangha. In the 9th chapter, we will study all the 14 meditation subject in detail. Now I'd like to introduce the 14 meditation again. The 10 kasina, the foreigners, which is called the Asubha Bhavana, and 10 recollections, Anusati, and illimitable, which is called the Appamanya. So we have studied in the chapter 2 of the mental factors. There are 2 illimitable mental factors. Those are karuna and mudita. But actually in the mental practice of subject of the samatha bhavana, there are 4 illimitable. So including metta and upekha. So metta, karuna, upekha are 4 illimitable as their meditation objects is the concept of beings. So it is out of the limitation. That is why these bhavana are called the illimitable. And another one, the perception of the loathfulness in the food, or food, it is called the perception, and the analysis of the elements. Then 4 immaterial state. Altogether, there are 14 meditation subjects for the samatha bhavana. Then out of the 14 meditation, the 10 meditation subjects just support to attain the SS development of SS concentration stage, and does not support to attain the absorption level of concentration. And the other 30 remaining meditation can support for the attainment of the absorption too. This is the Abhidhamma Sangha mentioned, what Abhidhamma Sangha mentioned in the chapter 9. And then, okay, let's continue to review the enumeration of the 10. What are the 10 meditation subjects that does not support to attain the absorption level, just support to attain the SX concentration level? So these are 10. The 8 regulation of Buddha Dhamma Sangha, morality, then generosity, devas. This is the virtues of the deva, regulation of the virtue of deva, which equal to one's own. That is called the devadanussati. And the upasamanussati, peace, about the nibbana, and the death. So this is the last moment of one's own life, that is death. So recollection of these 8 things are the subject, the meditation subject, that just can suppose to the development of excess concentration. And one cannot attain by practicing these 8 to the jhana level of concentration. And another 2 of the perception and analyze of the elements. They just support to the attainment of the excess concentration. They are the 10 meditation subjects. And another remaining 13 meditation subjects which support to the attainment of jhana 2. They are the 10 kasina, fullness, the asubha, then mindfulness occupied with body, and mindfulness of breathing too, and 4 illimitable of the loving kindness, compassion, appreciative joy, equanimity, and the 4 immaterial state. Altogether, 13 meditation subjects that can support to attainment of the jhana. And also the megapala, if the meditator focus the character skill by practicing insight meditation, and by practicing insight meditation on these subject of meditation, they can support for the attainment of the megapala too. So actually, all the conditional phenomena have the characteristic of impermanence, suffering, and non-self. Those are the subject of insight meditation. Okay, so let's continue to analyze which types of meditation subject to attain the which jhana. So there are four jhana in Suttanta teaching, but in the Abhidhamma teaching there are 5 jhana. So the classification in by way of 5 methods, Panchaka is called the Panchaka. And here, among the 30 meditation subjects, the 10 kasina here, 10 kasina, and the mindfulness of breathing. These 11 meditation subjects can give rise the 5 jhana, all 5 jhana. So by practicing the 10 kasina, any of 10 kasina, or by practicing the mindfulness of breathing, one can attain up to the 5th jhana. After the 5th jhana. And by practicing the fullness which is called the Asubha Bhavana, any of the Asubha Bhavana, and practicing the mindfulness occupying with the body, Kaya Gata Sati. So one can attain only 5th jhana. So he cannot continue to the 2nd jhana if he does not change the other meditation subject, because the meditation subject just support for the 1st jhana. Then loving kindness, compassion, and appreciative joy, 3 illimitable support to attain the 4th jhana. So one can continue by practicing any of these 3 up to the 4th jhana. So this 4th jhana equal to the 3rd jhana in the Suttanta teaching, all related to the accompaniment fetter or joy. And as the last one, the 5th jhana, related to the accompaniment fetters of equanimity. Okay, so then by practicing the illimitable meditation subject of equanimity, one can attain only 5th jhana, because the equanimity does not support for the attainment of the former 4 jhana. They have their different nature in feeling. Then the immaterial state, also similar to the equanimity practice, just support to the attainment of the 4th jhana, but they are immaterial jhana, not the material jhana, the 5 material sphere jhana. So in this way, we can identifying the subject of meditation or meditation subject of the object of meditation, meditative mind, which can support to the attainment of jhana. So without understanding about the meditation subject, and it is difficult to explain about the process of meditation and mental process in meditation, and also meditation mental process in jhana. Because these are the basics and meditation subject. So at the beginning, if someone trying to meditate for the concentration meditation, he need to choose any of these 30 meditation which can support to attain the jhana level. If he choose any of the 10 meditation which does not support to the attainment of jhana level, he will be able to develop only to the level of the excess concentration, not to the level of absorption. So one have to choose any of these 30 meditation subjects. Then let's see the process of absorption. This is called the Appana Jhana. Then in this case, in the Appana Jhana Vara, this is called the process with the absorption Jhana. This is called the Appana Jhana Vara. In this Appana Jhana Vara, there's no difference of the object, the clear object and obscure object. Because here in the process of absorption jhana is only the clear object, Buddha. So there's no difference, clear or obscure, because the only clear object can be the object of absorption jhana process. And this is the reason why the meditative attainment are only possible. So meditative attainment can be attained only when the object is clearly apprehended. So only when the clear object is taken, clear object appear in the mind, the attainment of absorption can be possible. But in previous lesson, we have studied that the clear object, the process of the clear object is with registration. The process of the obscure object is without registration. It ends with the jhana. But in this case, there will be no registration in the process of Appana Jhana, so absorption jhana. It is because it does not match with the principle of registration. So you may remember that there's some principle of registration. So there must be the sensual beings. There must be sensual jhana. It must be after sensual jhana, sensual jhana. And the process must be arising in the sensual plane of existence. So these are the basis principle of the registration. Here, the jhana is not the sensual sphere jhana. It is the absorption jhana. This is the reason why the registration moment is absent. Although the object is clear object, there is no registration because it does not match with the absorption jhana. Okay, so it was clear if we study about in the process. And so let's review the absorption jhana. What are the Appana Jhana, which is translated as the absorption jhana? But it is not only a absorption of 5 material sphere or immaterial sphere. It related to the to the attainment of mega and phala as well. So absorption jhana covers all the five material sphere, immaterial sphere, and supramundane. So let's see the wholesome and functional. As we have understand the unwholesome, wholesome, functional, and only four fruition consciousness of the resultant are jhana. So altogether 55 jhana. Among the 55 jhana, the higher level of jhana are 26. They are wholesome 5 material sphere, functional 5 material sphere, and wholesome immaterial sphere, functional immaterial sphere, because the resultant are not jhana. That's why we skip the resultant. Then the supramundane path consciousness, it is included under the enumeration of wholesome. So the path consciousness full, and the supramundane resultant of fruition consciousness. Altogether, 26 types of consciousness are absorption jhana. And sense-sphere jhana are 29. So with the 29 sense-sphere jhana and 26 types of absorption jhana become the 55 jhana, altogether 55 jhana. So you can see the 168 page of the comprehensive manual of Abhidhamma. Then, so let's talk about the name of the apana. So apana, which is translated as the absorption, but it cover the supramundane also. So the word apana is originally the name of the vitaka, the name of the vitaka, so which is translated as the initial application of mind, application toward the object. So that vitaka make the mind and mandafeta. So it is one of the mandafeta, associated mandafeta of the consciousness, when it arises. Then the vitaka make tracks the associated mandafeta to go into the object deeply. Then the mandafeta become absorbed. So that's why it is regarded as the absorption. Then by the power of vitaka, the consciousness and mandafeta deeply stick into the object of meditation. Then concentrate on that. By the power of concentration, it seems to absorb in the object. That is why the name of apana applying to the level to the specific mental state with the strong concentration. So that is called the apana level. This is related to any of the higher attainments of jhana or mega or phala. So we need to understand the original name of apana is the name of vitaka. Then vitaka make the mandafetas to thrust deeply into the objects, and so that they could absorb in the meditation object. At the specific mental state, that all the mental state is regarded as the apana by the name of vitaka. This is about the first jhana. So you may remember the first jhana contains the 5 jhana fetters: vitaka, vichara, piti, sukha, and ekagata. So by the power of the vitaka, the first jhana, the meditator's mind and mental fetters come to the certain level of concentration. that is called the Appana level with the Vitaka. According to this explanation, we can consider that Vitaka is the important force of the attainment of meditation. So meditative attainment. The Vitaka is very important factors. But for the higher meditation attainment, such as the second jhana, etc., in the Abhidhamma explanation, the second jhana exclude the Vitaka, jhana factors or Vitaka, starting from the Vichara, Piti, Sukha, Ekaggata. So there's no Vitaka. How can we name them as the absorption jhana or absorption mental state, which is called the Appana jhana or Appana mental state? It is mentioned that although the Vitaka is absent, Vitaka, which has the name of Appana, is absent in the second jhana, etc. The word Appana come to be extended to all meditative attainment. So at the beginning, it comes with the Vitaka. That is why we name this as Appana. Then later on, if there's no Vitaka too, that name still remain. For the first jhana, it is okay because it comes with the Vitaka. For the second jhana, there's no Vitaka. But the second jhana follow to the attainment of the first jhana because according to the sequence of the attainment, without the attainment of first jhana, there will not be second jhana, etc. So we give the name that starting level as the Appana. Then, although Vitaka is not there, we still regard them by the name of Appana. This is the way how the other higher jhana, starting from the second jhana, etc., they can get the name of Appana. So it is extended to the meditative attainment. So all the five material sphere, immaterial sphere, and supramundane are regarded as the Appana, by the name of Appana. So this is how they are regarded by the name of Appana, which is the originally matched with the Vitaka. So, as you know, when one practices the meditation, Vitaka, which has the power to force the consciousness and mental factor lead towards the object. And that is the beginning of the meditation practice. So this is called the Appana. Then let's see again the procedure of the Appana jhana. So what are the nature of the Appana jhana? So Appana jhana is the sublime jhana. So this is called the Appana jhana. During the first time cognitive process of absorption, the jhana, Appana jhana of jhana run only once. This is very important basic rules for the study of the attainment of meditation, process in the attainment of meditation, and process in the jhana. Then the direct knowledge, so direct knowledge, abhinya, so abhinya jhana also only one times. Then the four-part jhana, mega, of only one time. So we have to keep this information in our mind before we study the process in the meditation attainments. And those jhana runs only one time and arise fast away one time, does not repeat. Then as we have studied, the sense period jhana run 7 times regularly, 7 times generally. So this is the difference between the sense pure jhana and absorption jhana. So absorption jhana can be varied according to their rising times, the frequency. So for the path jhana, it runs only one time and endure for the only one mind movement exactly, never repeat. First, path jhana, the mega. Then, so 1 times arising, the 3 types. Then, after the path moment, the following the fruition moment can be 2 or 3 times. 2 or 3 times. If we understand this information of the Abhidhamma Sangaha, we can understand the process of the absorption and mega and phala. Then, so this is the time of the attainment of succession. So in this lesson, I will focus to explain only the process of pastime attainment of the jhana and mega. The process of attainment, which is called the samapatti viti, including the attainment of succession, will be discussed in the next lesson. So here the nature, let's study the nature of the jhana. At the time of the attainment of succession, the fourth immaterial jhana runs twice. So here, not 5 material sphere. So starting from the 5 material sphere and develop up to the immaterial sphere, and which is the last one, the fourth immaterial jhana, 2 times. Then contact succession. So at the moment of succession, there's no consciousness for the specific time period. So no consciousness, and if there's no consciousness, there's no associated mental fetters. So no consciousness, no mental fetters, and also no mind-born matter at that moment. So the meditator is entering into the succession, the attainment of succession. Here, the attainment of succession can be entered by the anagami and arhata, only two types of noble person. If they enter to the attainment of succession, at the moment of succession, there's no consciousness, no associated mental fetter, and also no mind-born matter at all. The consciousness born of Kamma, Uttu, and Ahara remain at the time. After the specific time period, he emerged from the succession. At the time, the starting consciousness is the fruition consciousness. If the individual is non-returning, the fruition consciousness of non-returning arise 1 times. If the individual is arhat, the fruition consciousness of arhatship arise 1 time. In this way, we can understand the process of the attainment of succession. So we will explain in detail later. Then here, another thing is this one-time occurrence of the absorption jhana is for the first time attainment. If after the first time attainment, the meditator repeat to enter the attainment of jhana, it is called the process of attainment, samapatti viti. In the samapatti viti, the sublime and supramundane jhana run many times, countless times, because it can last 1 hour, 2 hours, etc. So at that time, we cannot count the mind movements in the process. That is why we regard as the many times of Jhana runs at the time. This is called the process of attainment, samapatti vichi. Then, okay, so starting from the beginning, let's talk about the meditation, which is called the mental development. At the beginning, the meditator need to focus on the meditation object. So object of meditation, it must be any of the meditation subject, as mentioned in the former slides. Then apply his or her mind onto that object again and again to develop the concentration. And focusing on the object, taking the object, then apply the mind onto that object again and again. That is the process of meditation. Then through the application of the mind onto the object again and again, the concentration is developed. Then the development of concentration up to the certain level. That is the meditation practice. In other way, it is called the mental development of meditation. No matter he is sitting or walking or lying down, in any posture, one can develop, because the development is only in the mind. It is called the mental practice or mental development. Okay, there are 3 stages of mental development, as mentioned in the Abhidhamma Sangha. Prikama Bhavana, so preliminary development. So that is very, very beginning level, the beginning level of the meditation. So focusing, application, and development of concentration, all contained in this level. Then Upachara Bhavana, SS development. So after practicing for some instant, the concentration become stronger. That is called the Upachara Bhavana. Then the last one is called the Appana Bhavana, which is the attainment of the absorption. So this is absorption development. Then first level primary development refers to the mental condition after the 5 mental hindrances are suppressed and the counterpart sign emerge. So from the beginning of the meditation practice, so focusing on the object again and again and trying to apply the mind onto the object alone, not considering here and there, not running around here and there, and just focusing on the object, and then concentration is developed. Starting from the beginning of the focus on the object, the one's mind become concentrated. From that time on, up to the level where the mental hindrances of the Kamachanda, Vyavara, etc., 5 mental hindrances are suppressed. As a result of the suppression of the 5 mental hindrances, the counterpart sign arises by the power of concentration. Up to that level, that is called the primary development. Then, after the arising of or appearance of the counterpart signs, the meditator applied his mind onto that counterpart sign and trying to being applied onto the counterpart sign and trying to develop the concentration up to the another level to extend to get this another level. That process focusing on the counterpart sign and development after the mind movement of the change of lineage, Godra Puchita, that is called the essence development. Then here, the change of lineage, Godrabu Chitta, means the chitta that is immediately followed by the absorption or path consciousness. So just before the absorption or just before the path consciousness mega, that mind movement is called the Godrabu, the change of lineage. So up to that mind movement is called, regarded as the essence development. Then the absorption development. So absorption development, if any of the five material sphere or immaterial sphere jhana arise, that is absorption level. And also the path consciousness or fruition consciousness arise. That is called the Appana Bhavana. So in this way, we can identify the time periods of the three stages of mental development, according to the three stages of mental development. Thus, the meditator can understand from the starting. So if after the counterpart sign arise, that is during the times of the preliminary development. And focusing on the counterpart sign which appear due to the concentration. Then after the Godrabu, this is the essence development. Then at the moment of the absorption jhana and path fruition jhana, at that moment, this is called the absorption development. This is the three mental development. Then three stages of mental development related to the three meditation signs. So the consciousness cannot arise without the objects. So there must be object. So the object also classified into three types. According to it is level. So the first one is Prikama Nimitta, which is called the preliminary sign. So Nimitta is sign. And second one, Ugaha Nimitta, is called learning sign. But it is a little bit different, the English translation of learning sign and the original meaning of the word Ugaha. So anyhow, this will be the best usage as we know. So Ugaha Nimitta and the Patibhaga Nimitta, the last one, the counterpart sign. So preliminary sign, learning sign, and counterpart sign. But what is the difference? So Prikama Nimitta, the preliminary sign, refers to the original object of the concentration. So original object, if you focus on the breathing, the mindfulness of breathing, that you are focusing on the breath. The breath is your original object. If you practice the kasina meditation, the art kasina, the art digs prepare for the meditation is the original object. That is the original object of concentration used during the preliminary stage of practice. So for the objects, you need to focus on your physical eye at the beginning to focus on that object. For the breathing meditation, you cannot see your breath. So you just need to use your mind door and just focus on the breath by mind. Anyhow, the original object is the preliminary sign. It is called the preliminary sign at the beginning. Then after practicing and development of some state of concentration, you get the replica of the object. Replica of the object, which is same as or similar to the original one. So the mental object, mental replica of the breathing, or mental replica, what you see, the object of the optics. That is called the Ogaha Nimitta. And also it is called the learning sign. You learn from the original one, but it is not original one. It's just the replica of the object. And when it appears in your mind, so because it is perceived in the mind, not physical eye anymore. If you focus on the Patavikasina, etc., at the beginning you focus by your physical eyes. Then, even when you close the eye, the object still remain the same as the original object, but just in your mind. Exactly as it appear in the physical eye, as if you are seen by physical eye. That replica, mental replica, is called the learning sign. Then the counterpart sign, that is the mentally visualized image, free from defects, free from any flaw of the objects. So here in the original object, there must be many defects or many flaws. Then at that time of the Ogaha Nimitta, that defects and flaw can follow because it is taken just as a replica of the original object. Then by the power of the development of conscious concentration, this meditation sign is promoted to the level of the counterpart sign. When it becomes the counterpart sign, there is no more defects. So it is free from defects or free from the flaws, all kinds of flaws. So that is a flawless, that becomes the flawless sign. This is called the counterpart sign. Regarding the counterpart sign, we need to know the counterpart sign must be free of the flaws. If still remain the flaw, it is not the counterpart sign. It is the just a learning sign. And then it is recognized as a concept. At the beginning, if you focus on the breath, and that is the group of the ultimate reality. The breath is the group of the materialities. If you focus on the arctics, etc., the arctics is the group of the materiality and related to the ultimate reality. But when it becomes the Patibhaganimitta of the counterpart sign, it is totally a concept. It's just a concept. You cannot find the ultimate reality there because this is just a concept. And also, you cannot see the three characteristics of anicca, dukkha, anatta in the counterpart sign because that is the concept. The concept does not have the three characteristics of anicca, dukkha, anatta. So this is not the object of vipassana, not the object of insight. And also, the counterpart sign is born of the meditation. It's not really existing or not really existing in the ultimate reality, and also not really appear outside. It's just born of meditation, just the concept. So we need to know this principle of the counterpart sign to recognize that is the counterpart sign and to identify from the learning sign. Then starting, because the mental development is classified based on the counterpart sign. When the counterpart sign arrives, or when the nimitta meditation sign is promoted to the level of counterpart sign, from that time on, it is regarded as the excess concentration. And the former time of that appearance of the counterpart sign is the preliminary development. just the preliminary development. Then from that time on, the meditator focus on the count of a sign and develop his concentration. That is called the SS development. Then continue of the development of his concentration again and again. Then he attained the jhana. He attained the jhana, and that is the transition of the level of consciousness from the SS development to the absorption development. So here, regarding the counterpart sign, it is said in the Visuddhimagga, appear as if breaking out from the learning sign. So counterpart to the learning sign. So without the learning sign, it cannot appear, the counterpart sign. So it is like a breaking off the learning sign. So focusing on the learning sign, the counterpart sign appear as if breaking off the learning sign. Then the difference is the counterpart sign is more purifying 100 times or 1,000 times. So the more purifying than the learning sign. That's why the flaws or the defects in the learning sign no more remaining in the at the stage of the counterpart sign. There is simile is given like the monarchs coming out from behind the clouds. So this is explanation how the counterpart sign appears out of the learning sign. Explanation from the Visuddhimagga. Then, so let's study mention the meditation sign and mental development. So as we have studied the 3 stages of meditation sign, 3 types of meditation sign, and 3 stages of mental development. So starting from the beginning, so the beginner apprehend the particular objects. So for example, it is objects of the breathing or breath. Doesn't matter. So let's see by the objects. So original objects starting from that. That is called the Parikama Nimitta. So the objects which is seen by the meditator's physical eye. It is called the preliminary sign. Preliminary sign. It can be seen by the physical eye. And when it has been thoroughly apprehended, then focusing on that again and again, that it come into the range of the mind door. Now, even when the meditator close the eye, then still remain as if it is sin. It was seen directly by the physical eye, closing the eye, and then it is called the mental replica of the original meditation object. But that is not original meditation object, but it is copied. It is copied from the original meditation subject to appear in the mind door. That is called the Ugaha Nimitta and learning sign. And both Parikama Nimitta and Ugaha Nimitta are taken by the preliminary development of the concentration and the mind arising at the stage of the preliminary development. At the beginning, the preliminary sign. And after that, after some extent, the development of the mental practice, then they call the nimitta, the meditation sign is promoted to the learning sign as it appear in the mind door. Then the meditator continued to practice on that Ugaha Nimitta learning sign up to his 5 mental hindrances are suppressed. Again, development of the concentration and vitakka, vichara, etc. The positive mental factors or mental quality are developed. Then at the same time, when they become stronger and they suppress to the 5 mental hindrances, those are opposed to them. Then when the mental hindrances are suppressed, then the clearance of the mental hindrances, without the disturbance of the mental hindrances, the mind become concentrated. Then by the power of the concentration, the nimitta is promoted to the level of the counterpart sign. So it becomes the concentration. So applying one's meditative mind onto the learning sign again and again. Then by practicing on that, when the concentration is developed enough, strong enough, the counterpart sign appear. So the appearance of counterpart sign depends on the power of the concentration. So due to the concentration, the promotion of the concentration, the meditation object is promoted from the learning sign to the counterpart sign. Then when the counterpart sign arises, so the consciousness of the mental condition or mental process taking the counterpart sign arise, focusing on the counterpart sign again and again. That level is called the SS development. So when the counterpart sign arises, it starts the SS development. From the emergence of the counterpart sign up to the Gotrapu moment, this is called the Patibhaga Nimitta. So in this way, we can understand the 3 stages of meditation, 3 types of meditation sign and 3 stages of mental development. So here only 2 stages, preliminary development and SS development up to the Gotrapu consciousness. Thereafter, the SS development is accomplished, and at the time he need to focus on the counterpart sign again and again, maintaining that level of concentration. That's practicing the SS concentration. Then when it becomes concentrated enough and focusing on the counterpart sign by the SS concentration, when it's strong enough that first jhana, the Jhana, first jhana arise, that moment is called the absorption development. So the object is still the Patibhaga Nimitta counterpart sign. Focusing on the counterpart sign, the attainment of the first jhana arise, that is called the absorption development. And also it continued to the interim. The first time, as I mentioned, that the first time the absorption moment is only once, then disappear and the Bhavanga consciousness arise. After that, if the meditator continue his practice on the counterpart sign and again enter to the jhana, that is called the interim. So the absorption development cover the first attainment and also the interim process. That is called the absorption development. In this way, we understand the 3 stages and 3 signs. Then, after the attainment of the first jhana, the meditator has to train himself to be master of the first jhana by means of 5 kinds of mastery. So adverting, mastery in advertence, mastery in attainment, this is called samapatti. So avajana, samapajana, and adhitthana, the resolution and emergence and the reviewing. So this was explained in chapter 9, in the last chapter in detail. So this is how the meditation process continue. Then after the attainment of first jhana, he need to make himself to be mastery by way of mastery. After being master in the first jhana, then he can continue for the attainment of second jhana. Here, second jhana, to attain the second jhana, the important thing is to abandon. He needs to strive himself to abandon the successive gross fatal, the vitaka, etc., the initial application, etc. So if he can abandon and he can remove the first jhana fatals of the initial application, it becomes the second jhana. So arising from the sustained application, etc. No more initial application. That is called the second jhana. That is why the meditator have to practice keeping on the object of the pratibhaganimitta. Pratibhaganimitta, after the 5 kinds of mastery, his intention must be to abandon the gross fetters, Then when he is successful to abandon the gross fetter of the initial application, his jhana becomes the second jhana, second jhana level. So aroused from the subtle fetter. Subtle refers to the subtle fetters refers to the comparing the gross fetter which is removed, which is abandoned. And then after the attainment of second jhana, and he need to practice second jhana by means of 5 kinds of mastery. And being master by means of 5 mastery for second jhana, he can continue to the third jhana. For the attainment of third jhana, strive to abandon the sustained application. Sustained application become the gross fetter compared to the piti, sukha, etc. Then he is successful to abandon the mental fetter, the fetters of jhana fetter of sustained application. At that time, he attained the third jhana. In this way, in due sequence, first, second, third, etc., it continued to the attainment of the 5th jhana. That is how the attainment of jhana happened in the absorption development level. Okay, so to make clear, let's see from the beginning of the practice. And so here, this process we already studied. This is the process of mind door process, wholesome jhana. So at the beginning, the meditators focusing on the breath or the original object of artics. As I mentioned, that the artists consist of the materialities, which is regarded as the karma vachara. So all types of materialities are karma vachara. That is why there can be the process pertaining to the registration moment, because that is if the person is practicing in the sensual plane of existence. So the sensual plane of existence, sensual being, and when the object is the original object, which is pertaining to the materiality group. At that time of beginning practice beginner, the object, because the object is still the sensual object, there can be the process with the registration. So this mind or process of wholesome jhana can arise in meditator's mind. So in this way, the mind dot abundant, 7 times of jhana, registration, and bhavanga. But the object is the meditative object. Any of the meditative object, he's trying to focus on it. He's trying to apply his mind onto that object again and again. And then to develop the concentration. Sometimes it's possible if he does not satisfy on the meditation object or thinking about something else, at that time period, the the Jhana moment can be unwholesome, even though he is practicing meditation, sitting posture, focusing on the on his meditation object, but the mind is difficult to keep in the proper condition at the beginning. Sometimes it can drop into the process of the unwholesome jhana. It's also possible, but if the meditator is practicing properly in the proper guidance, it will be very few moments. That is why I just show that because he is practicing the meditation. So I just show the process with the wholesome jhana, but we have to understand sometimes it can be unwholesome jhana too. Then, if the object is not the sensual object, so the object of sensual sphere, it becomes the sometimes it becomes the registration drop, the registration moment drop. Only jhana runs, so it ends with jhana. So these two processes can be, and also these two processes with the unwholesome jhana can be in the mental process. For the arhat, so the mind-door process with the functional jhana will arise, focusing on the meditation object. So the arhat also need to practice the concentration meditation if they don't, if they were not successful before they attain the arhatship. And after the attainment of arhatship, they need to practice. Then at that time, focusing on the meditation object, and then there the functional consciousness, functional jhana, the process of functional jhana arise. And this is how at the beginning level, here the preliminary stages, the wholesome and unwholesome jhana for the worldling and the functional jhana for the arhat will arise in this way. So this is the preliminary stage and the formal stages of the SS development. Formal stages of SS development. And starting from the SS development arise, the object becomes the counterpart sign. When the counterpart sign becomes the object, there is no more registration, because that is not, that is the concept. So the concept becomes the object. Then the moment of the jhana concentrating to the counterpart sign, the process will continue. Still the sense-sphere jhana. So the preliminary stage and SS stage, SS development stage, still the mental process are just the mind-door process with the sensual jhana, sense-sphere jhana. Then let's continue another process. But before we continue another process, we will continue the process after the sense-sphere jhana. After the sense-sphere jhana, the absorption jhana will arise. So the later process will mention the two types of jhana in one process. So that is why we need to know the correlation of the jhana in the absorption level, the arising of the absorption. So before the absorption jhana arise, the sense-sphere jhana will be arise. They have the different nature, the sense-sphere nature and absorption nature. So they are the five material sphere nature. Although they have the different nature, they will arise in the sequence, in one process. So we have to know the correlation, what is the rules. Here, after the sense-sphere jhana accompanied by joy, the absorption jhana accompanied by joy. So the accompanying feeling will be the same. Although they are different in Jadi, in the Bhumi, which is called the plane of existence. So sensual sphere to the five material sphere, sensual sphere to the immaterial sphere. Although they are different in the plane of, according to the classification of the plane of existence, the continuum of the join must be in the process, in the same process. So join after join fulfilling. And the equanimity after the sense sphere equanimity. So then for the practice of Vipassana meditation, the attainment of Jhana, the wholesome after the wholesome Jhana, absorption, wholesome functional Jhana, absorption functional Jhana will arise after the sense sphere functional Jhana, and also if the attainment of the fruition attainment, the fruit of arahantship, and then in the fruition consciousness, that was clear if we studied about the attainment, the process and the attainment. So three lower fruit will follow to the wholesome Jhana. And this is what we need to know, the information, before we study the process. Okay, then let's continue the process of the first attainment of jhana, which is called the adhikamika. So adhikamika viti. So to attain the first jhana, etc., the jhana level, one had to practice the samatha meditation. So there, the process arises. Here, the mind dot adverting PR refers to the preparation. So the moment of preparation, which the consciousness, if the consciousness, the process of consciousness is arising in the waddling and trainings. All these moments are the wholesome consciousness, the sense sphere wholesome consciousness. But according to the function that they perform, they are named as the preparation moment. So this moment of the sensual sphere jhana is called the preparation moment. After that, AC is the SS moment. So preparation, SX, then here CN is conformity. Conformity, those make conform to the former jhana and the following moments. So this make that function. And if this process occurred to the arhat, these all are the functional sense sphere jhana. So you may remember in the great functional. So great wholesome or great functional, these moments represent the great wholesome or great functional. In the process of trainings and an ordinary person, this great wholesome will arise, take place here. And in the process of arahat, this moment will take place the functional moments, functional jhana. Anyhow, they are names in the same name, given the same name, the preparation moment, SS moment, and conformity moment. After that, CH, it becomes the change of lineage. Because before this attainment, this is the lineage of the sensual sphere. The lineage of the sensual sphere. After that, this moment becomes the five material sphere. So the lineage changed. The sensuality to the absorption. That is why this moment is like a transition moment. So it is called the change of lineage, CH. Then after that, immediately after that, the Godrabu, this is called the Godrabu in Pali. Godrabu, change or lineage, the jhana follow. So at the time of jhana, that mind moment is called the absorption development. So if we if we divide it according to the mental developments, so this moment is access moment, asset development moment, because this is similar to the access to the absorption. So like the access to the village or access to the city. So here the access to the absorption. That is why this moment is called the access concentration. That's similar to this moment, taking the Patibhaga Nimitta as it is object, many times of the process with the sense pure Jhana can also regard the access development, because they are similar to this moment, this process of mind moments. Okay, in this way, we understand at the beginning, before the appearance of the counterpart sign, Patibhaga Nimitta, that is called the preliminary stage. Starting from the appearance of counterpart sign up to this moment of the change of the lineage, Gotarapu, that is called the access development. Then the arising of the Jhana attainment, Jhana absorption Jhana, which is called the Jhana, that is called the absorption development. After that, the process of Bhavanga arises, continue for some instant until the meditator, in meditator's mind, the next mind-door process arises. So mind-door process arises. So here the mind-door advantage arises. The continuum of the Bhavanga will continue. Then mind-door process arises and again to the Jhana. So this is how the mental development goes in the progress. Then another process. So here, starting from the mind-door abundant, but there is no preparation moment in the second types of the process. Starting from the access moment, conformity moment, then change or lineage, then Jhana. Here, what makes the difference between these two with preparation moment and without preparation moment? That is, with the preparation moment, the person is regarded as the average person. It's called the Mandapanya individual, the person of Mandapanya, who have the slower, slower power of the wisdom, but just slow, not much difference. Then the second process, without the preparation moment, the person is regarded as the kin person. So this is according to the nature. We cannot make ourselves to skip to drop the preparation moment of at this. But due to the condition, it arises. If this process arises, we can regard that person is the Mandapanya. And if this process arises in his mental process, mental attainment, he is regarded as the kin person. This is just different of the nature of the individual. It can possible with the preparation moment or without the preparation moment. Then another one. So the process of the attainment of path. If the person meditator practice the vipassana meditation, not samatha meditation, the practice of vipassana meditation focusing on the three characteristics of anicca, dukkha, anatta, of the conditional reality. And if he could promote, he could develop his concentration and also wisdom enough, because this is the practice of insight meditation. So concentration and wisdom enough with the other condition, and the process arises. That is the attainment of the path. We cannot identify the attainment of the path the first time or the later time, because the path moments just arise only one time, only one time. It never repeats. That is why this is called the attainment of path. But although we name this is the attainment of path, they consist of the fruition moment, because according to the nature of the consciousness, after the path moment, the fruition directly arises. This is called the akaliko. So the virtue of the Dhamma, one of that, the virtue of the Dhamma is akaliko. So immediate results, which produce the immediate result. This is exactly matched with this moment. So path is the wholesome consciousness, the fruition is result, and after the wholesome, it is result. Exactly anantara, which is the immediately after the condition arise, the effect resultant arise. Okay, so this process, mind drop at button, after the preparation, after then the access, conformity, change all in it. This is the same, the attainment, but the object is different. The attainment of the jhana, the object is counterpart sign. Here, in this process, the object is the characteristic of the conditional phenomena, the anicca, dukkha, or anatta. Then, after the change of lineage, the path consciousness arises. Then, fruition consciousness follow 2 times. Then, as I mentioned, the path consciousness rise 1 time. Sometimes the fruition consciousness can be 2 times or sometimes 3 times, because here, by the absence of the preparation moment, in order to complete the 7 moments of jhana, starting from access moment, so that becomes the fruition moment extended to the 3 times. So with the preparation moment, the fruition moment is only 2 times. Without the preparation moment, the fruition moment becomes the 3 times. In this way, the jhana becomes 7 times. Then what makes the difference is the process with the preparation moment and the lesser fruition moment is arising in the average person's process, so mandapanya. And the lesser preparation moment, the absence of preparation moment and longer extended fruition moment, which is the higher one. So the person is regarded as the kin person, the tekapanya. This is the difference of the individual. Then now understand how the meditator attain first time attainment of the jhana and the attainment of the path. In the process, we understand according to the mental process. This is very detailed, but when it happened in reality, it's in a very short moment, it go through, because according to the nature of the consciousness, it can arise very repeatedly. So if we study in detail according to the Abhidhamma explanation, we see all the mind movement in this way, arising in the attainment of jhana and meditation. Okay, now I'm going to stop here, my explanation for today's lesson, and let's continue to the Q&A session. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Ante. We maybe seek permission from Bante to start the Q&A session. Okay. Okay, we will start with prepared questions and followed by live questions. Please raise your hand when your questions are ready.
Okay, the first question is, dear Sayadaw, I learned from one reading, our Bodhisattva always practice metta before his death moments. If a person practice metta jhana before passing away, and at his last moment, if he stay in the excess concentration of metta, will this metta might affect his future life?
Yeah, of course. If we study, if we recite the Mahasamaya Sutta, there are some group of deva called the Mitta or Karuna. These, the commentary mentioned that they are named as Mitta because they were born as deva due to the wholesome karma of the excess concentration of Mitta. So excess concentration of Mitta is the wholesome consciousness that contains the potency of karma and that give rise in the deva realms. That's why we can say that Mitta might affect in his future life. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Bhante. Next question is, in some readings mentioned that Buddha has great compassion. Does this great compassion refer to Karuna Jhana, or it refers to greater Karuna than Karuna Jhana?
The great compassion, including the Karuna Jhana, the Buddha is Karuna. Here the Karuna being the illimitable manifestors, it can accompany the functional consciousness of the Buddha. I think I'm not so sure for the commentary explanation or how it is mentioned, but what I understand is the Karuna, the greater Karuna refers to the compassion which arises in the Buddha's mind, or the consciousness can be included. The greater Karuna, the great compassion, which arises, whether it is jhana level or not jhana level, it is regarded as the great compassion. This is what I understand, but I'm not so sure according to the literature explanation.
Thank you, Bhante. Next question is, Vitaka means initial application of mind. Does initial application mean that this Vitaka Cettasika only happen one time in the first Javana of first jhana, or it will happen in every Javana of first jhana?
So Vitaka arises many times, with the many mind moments before the jhana, before the moment of first jhana, as long as it is not abandoned by the power of concentration, it can arise with many mind moments. So before the attainment of jhana, also the Vitaka, during the practice of meditation from the beginning, the Vitaka makes Vitaka considering in the process. In the process means they are in any mind moments, any mind active moment, they arise in, and then it is forced the other manifestors with the consciousness toward the meditation object. That is called the Vitaka Cettasika. Not only first jhana and not only in the first jhana, but after the attainment of first jhana, and when the meditator trying to promote to the second jhana level, and when he is successful, at that time the Vitaka is intentionally abandoned by the power of concentration. That is, at that time, no more Vitaka. So the first jhana, at the time of the first jhana and before the time of the first jhana, that is called the Vitaka. Here Vitaka refers to all types of Vitaka. Okay.
Thank you, Bhante. Next question. I'm not very clear about this point. The sublime jhavanas during the first cognitive of absorption run only once. Sayadaw, explain this again. Thank you, Sayadaw.
Okay, the sublime Jhana during the first time cognitive process of absorption is refers to the what I mentioned in the last slides. Yeah. Okay. Okay. May I share the screen again? Okay. And here in the last slides, I mentioned this. The JH moment is only one time. So one time occurs after that in the first time attainment. In the first time attainment, it cannot repeat. Just one time arise, then and the bhavanga continue. This is what I mentioned in that phrase. The first time attainment only one time. So then later time, when the meditator trying to again enter to the first jhana after the first time attainment, then focusing on the Patibhaga Nimitta, then after that the Jhana absorption moment of sublime Jhana moment will be extended to the countless moments. So we cannot count even in the 5 minutes. Even in the 5 minutes, how many times of the Jhana arise. But for the first time attainment, at the very first time attainment is only one time. This is the nature of the consciousness. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Bhante. Sister Legim,
Yeah.
would you please proceed with your question?
Pandami Bhante, according to Bhante's slides, 3 meditation sign, the second item, Ugaha Nimitta and Patiga Nimitta, here it is for the one that they are taking kasina. How about for Anapanasati? Can Bhante explain what is the Ugaha Nimitta and the Patibaga Nimitta then?
Okay. Then for the anapana, as long as the mind focus on the breath, the real breath. So the original breath, which consists of the groove of the materiality, focusing on the breath, that is called the preliminary sign. Focusing on that is preliminary sign. Then later, the nimitta appear. So nimitta appear in the mind, not related to the, not directly to the original groove of materiality, but it is copied. So instead of the original breath, there's appear in the mind. That is called the Ugaha Nimitta. That can be sometimes the white or gray or something else. It consists of the color, but the color also due to the mind, due to the power of mind, not original power. Because if we say that is the color is reality, it is related to the original one, not the replica of the mental replica. So because starting from that becomes the mental replica, that is the concept. Even though it can be considered of the color or shape or something, it is not the reality. It is just a concept. Then, focusing on that Ugaha Nimitta, learning sign, the Patibhaga Nimitta appear out of that learning sign. There's the brighter than the learning sign. There's the many times, the 100 times like this. So that become the Patibhaga Nimitta. So in the same way, all the meditation subject that can give rise to the absorption in development can apply in this way. So every meditated object at the beginning, the original one is the preliminary sign. After that, taken by the mind alone, not using the other physical doors. That is called the Ugaha Nimitta. But still very similar to the original one. after being the counterpart sign of Pratibhaganimetta, all the flaws, all the defects will be removed, become clear and brighter. That is called the Pratibhaganimetta. Okay.
Okay. Very clear. Bhante, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, thank you, sister. Thank you, Bhante. So we move on to the prepared question. So the fifth question is, at the time of the attainment of cessation, the fourth immaterial jhana run twice. Then contact cessation when emerging from cessation. Either the fruition citta of non-returning or the fruition citta of arahantship arises accordingly for a single occasion. About this paragraph, does it mean that to attain non-returning or arahantship fruition, a person must practice fourth immaterial jhana?
And not really that. So this refers the process of the attainment of succession arise. How the process of the attainment of succession arise. So it means there are only 2% of non-returning and arahat can enter to the attainment of succession if they attain the 8 samapatti, so 8 attainments, or if they are already attained the level of non-returning and arahatship, and also they already practice the 8 attainment. Then, if they wish to experience the succession, which is entering to their, which is experiencing to the nature of nibbana in this real life, and you need to enter to the attainment of succession. So it means this paragraph explains about the after the attainment of non-returning or arahatship level of supramundane, then being a noble person, he wished to experience in this very life again to the experience of the nibbana as partially, because it was still remaining the conditional phenomena in his process. So he wished to enter the attainment of succession. At that time, he need to start the practice from the beginning of the concentration, first jhana, second jhana, etc., up to the fourth jhana of the immaterial jhana. Then going down again and going up in this way. After that, this fourth jhana, before, when it comes closer to the attainment of the succession, so the last moment of the mind process is only 2 moments of the full jhana. Then it enters to the succession. At the time of succession, there is no consciousness, etc. That's why it is similar to the attainment of experience of the nibbana. Nibbana, that is called the succession, the attainment of succession. Is not for the attainment of, is not the practice for the attainment of the arahatship of non-returning. So this process will be explained in the next lesson. So it will be more clear what is mean there.
Okay, thank you, Bhante.
Okay.
Next question is, other than the 40 meditation subjects taught by the Buddha, can a meditator take other subjects to enter into access and absorption concentration? Because I heard before that some ascetic practice concentration by just focusing on candlelight, and they can gain strong concentration and develop some special abilities like able to do fortune telling, etc.
Okay, so here the candlelight. So example of candlelight, the candlelight also included any of the aloka kasina or like this. So by I think there's no more meditation subject which can give rise the essence of absorption concentration. So if there is, so that will be mentioned in the Abhidhamma. So Abhidhamma is regarded the Anavasesa Desana. So Anavasesa Desana. So if Abhidhamma does not mention, our tradition believe that if Abhidhamma does not mention, it means there's no, because there's no more other subject. If there is more subject, the Abhidhamma will mention. Because Abhidhamma covered everything. This is the traditional understanding. That is why, for my understanding, there is no more subject out of the 14 meditation subject as mentioned in the Abhidhamma Sangha, and to develop concentration up to the access and absorption level. So the others are, the other meditation subject is also not called the meditation subject. Other practice used by the psychologists for their therapy, then they can be understood the level of primary stages of the concentration, but they are not useful to develop to the access or absorption level. That is why there's no more meditation subject. All the practice which lead to the access or absorption concentration can be included any of the 14 meditation subject. Here, the candlelight. So if he is focusing on that, the fire element or something, that is the element, the analysis of the elements. Or if he is focusing on the color, this is the color kasina. Or if he is focusing on the light, is the kasina of the light. So in this way, we can include any of the 14 meditation objects.
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay.
Next question is, I'm not very clear on this part. I'm not very clear on this part. Could Bhante please clarify on the 3 types of meditation sign? Bhante explained that the counterpart sign is reckoned as concept. There's no ultimate materiality. How about the preliminary sign and learning sign? These signs also considered as concept. If we discern this sign, are we able to find ultimate materialities in them?
Okay, so first of all, regarding the counterpart sign, reckoned as the concept. So at the stage of the counterpart sign, the stage of the counterpart sign, the nimitta become the brighter and very clear, with no in the faultless condition. That is just a concept. If it is related to still related to the ultimate reality. Ultimate reality refers to the mentality or materiality, especially here materialities. So materiality, there must be any flaw or any defects. So the concept, only the concept which born of the concentration or meditative power, that can be brighter enough to be the counterpart sign. That is why that is only the concept, the pure concept, not missing, or missing mean they are. Sometimes we call the object, that the object is the mixture of the concept and the ultimate reality, because the ultimate reality arising in the group, the grouping is the concept. So grouping is concept, and the nature of ultimate reality coming together in that object. But in case of the counterpart sign, no more on the ultimate reality concept of, only the concept which born of by the meditative power. That is why it is said that the counterpart sign is reckoned as the concept, because it is concept. It is concept. It means the no ultimate reality. For the second part, the preliminary sign and learning sign. So it consists of the ultimate reality, and also we understand it by the name of the concept. So it is the mixture. Whatever ultimate reality arises, if we don't touch, if our mind does not touch to its ultimate nature. For example, the hardness is the nature of the earth element. If we don't touch on that element, the nature of that element, and the other process that we say a piece of the earth or a piece of the clay or something else, this is the group of the ultimate reality, considering of the ultimate reality, and then we name. That is why it's the mixture of the concept and ultimate reality. So in the preliminary sign, if we focus on the earth disc, it is the mixture of the ultimate reality and the concept. So a concept is level on the ultimate reality. So you can discern this side. Yeah, you can discern if you focus on the original one. So this side, if we don't say the object of concentration meditation is just the condition of phenomena. So the earth is composed of at least the 9 group of materiality, etc. So all are included in the condition of phenomena. That's why you can see the ultimate reality in the preliminary sign. But for the learning sign, sometimes it's still related to the preliminary sign, but actually taken by the mind, usually focusing on the image, mental image which appear in the mind. That is the concept. But still it can consist of the materialities or mentality. For example, if you are hearing or something like that, how to say that? If you are focusing on the art disc, then mental replica still depends on the preliminary sign, which consists of materiality. That is why we cannot say that it is totally concept, because the base is the preliminary sign of the materialities. So only the counterpart sign is emphasized by the wall of the concept. It is concept like this. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Bhante. Oh, sorry. So the next question is regarding the absorption development, first attainment and entering. For example, if a meditator enters into first jhana for 3 hours, does the first attainment refers to first set of jhana, and entering refers to many sets of jhana after the first attainment in this 3-hour sitting?
Okay, so let's make sure what is the first attainment. First attainment means the jhana, the absorption jhana in that life. Before that absorption jhana, there is no absorption jhana in that life. That is called the first attainment. According to the nature of the consciousness, in the first attainment of the process of the first attainment only once arises. So if the meditator enters to the first jhana 3 hours, so first time attainment cannot enter to the 3 hours. The first time attainment only one time jhana. After that, the naturally come the bhavanga. Bhavanga process come naturally arise. So the first at the time of the first time attainment, it does not mean the one sitting or like this. So even in one sitting, the meditator, he has never experienced the jhana, although he could focus on the counterpart sign in many hours, but the concentration has never promoted to the jhana level. So only the sensual sphere jhana arise, taking the counterpart sign as it is object again and again. That kind of process repeating. Then in one time, at a time he practiced, then first time promoted to the first jhana. That is called the first time attainment of first jhana. And in that process, exactly in that process, the jhana must be only one time. Then after some bhavanga, he does not move his posture, he does not change. But still, after that drop into the bhavanga, then again, he continued practice, focusing on the counterpart sign. Is continuing. Then again, his mind, starting from the mind door at button, then the jhana process arise. It can last 3 hours and 4 hours or like this, according to the his power of concentration. So that is the interim jhana, interim process, not the first time process. So first time process and interim process cannot arise continuously without the interval of the bhavanga movements. So after first time process, some bhavanga movement, after that again, an interim process continue up to the 3 hour, etc. So this is how arise. So in the 3 hour sitting, he just arise the first time in his life. So that is first time attainment. After that, he can enter. The next time, it is not called the first time attainment. After the first time attainment, one time occurs in one life. Then he continue. They are called the interim process. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Bhante. Okay, so in the chat box, we received 2 questions. What is different of subject and object meditations, and how about exercise objects? Second question is why fullness meditation only can get up to first jhana?
Okay, so for the first part of the jhana, the question, I'm not so sure about the exercise objects. So exercise objects maybe refers to the object in the yoga practice or something. What is the difference? So there's no difference, especially no difference. But sorry, if we say the difference, so the intention. So the meditator's intention, I will try to develop my concentration. And so that is called, at that time, we can say that is meditation object. And he's just trying to exercise, make exercise or practice or play or like this. That we can call the exercise object, not meditation object, because he is not meditating on that object. That may be the difference. And for the second question, on the fullness meditation can get up the first jhana. So this is due to the object is loathful. So object is not enjoyable and not support the mind for the higher level. That's why the reason is given in that way. But yes, the reason is shown in that way because that is not very, how to say that, related to the satisfaction of the mind. It is the fullness. So it just support to the first jhana. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Bhante. Next question is, when a person enters into jhana, can we say that his mind movements are the same as the Brahma in the Brahma realm. That means we can be like a Brahma in the human realm.
Of course, yes. In one sutta, the Buddha compared the meditative monk's mind towards the Brahma. But actually, in the Brahma or Brahma life also, when they enter to the jhana process arises. But actually, not only the jhana process arises in the Brahma realms, Brahma's life, and the sensual jhana, the process of sensual jhana for the ordinary and trainee Brahma, the wholesome process of sensual jhana, the great wholesome, the process of great wholesome also arises there. And for the Arahat Brahma, the functional, the process pertaining to the functional, great functional jhana also arises. So what the difference is for the Brahma, the Bhavanga are their respective Bhavanga, they are regarded as the jhana. So even the Bhavanga are the jhana level, but not jhana. It is just the resultant, because their resultant consciousness similar to their Pradisandhi. So Pradisandhi is their respective resultant consciousness of the jhana. That is why the similarity, there are some similarity and there are some difference. But we can say he is living as a Brahma. Okay.
Okay. What is the practical effect of Gotrabu, change of lineage, in the meditator's mind moment before jhana or path moment?
What is that? Okay. Suppose
so what does mean the practical effects? So the Gotrabu is one of the mind movement. After that, the condition changes. Condition means the mental state changes. The changing refers to the lineage of the sensuality to lineage of the absorption. And for the path movement, lineage of the ordinary person to the lineage of the noble person. This is the mind movement of the transition. That is why it is regarded as the change of the lineage. So we cannot practice this on that. We can practice only the concentration of insight meditation. That is one of the mind movement there. Okay.
Thank you, Bhante. So this is last question. Dear Sayadaw, could I ask a question outside this study? In Sayadaw biography, he mentioned that Sayadaw was conferred Dhammacharya, Vinaya, Vidu, Sasana, Lankara degree by Myanmar Religious Ministry. May Sayadaw share with us about this degree?
Okay. So here the Dhammacharya has the three subjects. We need to take the exam for each subject, for 2-day exam for each subject. So we need to take the 6-day examination. It is the higher method of the test for the higher method of the literature in the Pali and the commentary. On the commentary, especially focus on the matter written in the commentary. So we need to understand the literature in the commentary and the writing system, the system of composition in the commentary. Why he write this sentence, and how related to the Buddha's teaching and this definition or this explanation, etc. And also it covers the different method which support to the proper understanding of the literature, Pali literature. In that level, we study the basics, the Pali grammar and basis of Abhidhamma. After that, we can take that exam. And this is similar to the degree examination system. So to represent the three Pitaka, it makes the textbook for the three commentary for Parajika Kanda for the Vinaya Pitaka and Digha for the Digha Nikaya, that is the Sila Khandavaka Pali and commentary. Then for the Abhidhamma, the Dhammasangani and its commentary or Athasalini. So if we pass the 6th day of 3 subjects and we are conferred the Dhammacharya degree. Then for the Vinaya we have to take the text for the 5 Vinaya books of the Pali Canon, Vinaya books. If we pass, we are conferred the Vinaya examination. Then Alankara degree, Sasana Alankara degree is the conferred by the private association. It's only for the Samanera. Before we complete our age of 20, 20 or 19, we have to complete all 3 stages. It covers the 5 Vinaya books and the 3 books of the Anguttara Nikaya, the whole Anguttara Nikaya, then the 2 books of the Dhammapada commentary. And it is divided 3 stages. And if we pass the 3 stages within our novice life, within our novice life, we are conferred the Sasana Alankara degree. It is quite difficult than the Dhammacharya and Vinaya, etc. Because it applies the different method which can be useful in the daily life, and using the Pali text and taking off the ultimate reality, and then we apply this consciousness must be, or this materiality must be in this case, and we have to identify the ultimate reality. After that, we make different way of analyze. So according to the function, this must be that, or according to the door, etc. Then in the second level of the Sasana Alankara examination, the cognitive process of Vitti and Vittimutta are the subject of the Abhidhamma. So we have to understand the different types of the process, including the plane of existence and types of the individual, etc. And after that, there are, in the 3rd level, the last level, regarding the patana. So how many potency of the condition can be in this case, or that we have to find out the relationship. In this way, the system is quite difficult for the novice. So this is the Sasana Alankara examination. If we pass all 3 stages within our novice life, we are conferred the degree of Sasana Alankara. Okay, these are the degree about the Myanmar tradition use. Okay.
Thank you, Bhante. Actually, I received a very short question. Bhante, would you like to take it?
Okay.
Bhante, could Bhante please teach how to remember all of this lesson? I found it so hard to remember everything. Thank you, Bhante.
Okay, so if we study, so I would like to share our way of study about the Abhidhamma Sangha. But it will be quite difficult for you because only the Myanmar peoples depends on the memorization. So we're trying to memorize the Abhidhamma text. And also, if you cannot memorize, it is very difficult to memorize. So you just need to read. Then with the understanding. So the Abhidhamma Sangha is, the very excellent books, wonderful books for the foundation of Abhidhamma understanding. That is why the text itself is very helpful. So with the understanding of the English translation, if you can remember the Pali and then recite it, because the English translation itself is difficult to apply in the memorization. So with the appreciation to the Abhidhamma text, and then you're trying to develop your competence, then trying to recite, trying to read. And then according to the order of the text of Abhidhamma Sangha, and you can keep all the information I explain in these lessons. So because in these lessons are taken off and combined the understanding of the different chapter, then I explain. So if you want to keep all the explanation here in this lesson series, you need to keep the order of the Abhidhamma text in your mind. So read. If you cannot memorize, you reading through the reading, and you recall your understanding. In this case, the Bande explained Hong like this. So in this way, you can remember everything I teach, and also you read out of the lesson. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, Bante, for your teaching today. May Bante please lead us in making aspiration and sharing of merits.
Okay, let's make aspiration and let's share our merit today. Please repeat after me. Imina punya kamena.
Imina punya kamena.
Mame bala samagamo.
Mame bala samagamo.
Saddam samagamo hotu.
Satam samagamo hotu.
Yawa nibbana padiyam.
Yawa nibbana patiya.
Idame punyam.
Idame punyam.
Asawakaya vaham hotu.
Asawakaya vaham hotu.
Idame punyam.
Idame punyam.
Nibbana sapajayo hotu.
Nibbana sapachayo hotu.
Ama punya bhagam.
Mama punya bhagam.
Sabha satanam bhajemi.
Sabha satanam bhajemi.
Te sabbe.
Te sabbe.
Me samam.
Me samam.
Punya bhagam labantu.
Punya bhagam labantu.
Sadhu,
Sadhu,
sadhu.
sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Bante, and everyone, for your time and participation. See you again next week. May all be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Recording stopped.